What's happening, y'all? Welcome back for the first time in a long time. This is episode 14 of Hashtag Them Thrones, where we're talking all of Game of Thrones, including this new spinoff, House of the Dragon. I am your host, the self-knighted Lord Cussalott Travis Pointer, aka the Dragon King, aka Big T, aka T Money, aka Sweet T, aka Black Merlin, aka the HNIC. And I'm joined as always by my co-host Mara the Shark Watkins.
Hi. Oh, voice cracked.
Good to see you. Good to see you. How are you doing tonight, Mara?
I'm good.
Good. I'm glad to hear. Those of you who have listened to this show before, watched this show before, you may notice there is no Jonny Jums Grutzius tonight. He will be joining us on a later episode, but for now it's just the two of us. We may have another guest on the next episode or two, we'll see how things go. But right now you just got me and Mara, so
But
hang with us.
you guys love hanging with us.
Yeah, hang out with us for a while, it's all black people on this one. So,
Look at that.
yeah. All black thrones. Anyway. So we are here actually to talk about this first episode of House of the Dragon. This happened a few days ago. I know we're a little late this time, but in the future we'll be going live the night of the show after the show has been aired and all that. Give you a little time to watch it, then we'll go live. You can watch us live on all the things, Twitch, YouTube, maybe Facebook. I might do that. I don't know yet. But yeah, you can watch us live then. But for right now, let's just talk about House of the Dragon. Mara, what did you think of this first episode, this pilot of House of the Dragon?
So many things happened, and I was so happy that I stood my ground with my 6-year-old that she was not watching this with me.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Because there were things. There were things. There was a
I
very
was
there was a very graphic C-section that occurred. There was a person whose face was just plowed in by like some kind of axe mace thing. There was castration. There were lots of things. There was the brothels. You got all the Game of Thrones things happen in this episode.
they different show, different time, but same shocks.
Yeah, exactly. They did the same. They had to let you know, like, you're still in this world. All right. This is a different show, but this is still that world. So what we're gonna do is, what do y'all like? Y'all like gory violence and all that. So we're gonna give you that. What else
I'm
did
over
we
here
do on this show? There are titties. We're gonna give you titties. So here they go.
I'm
You
over
know?
here looking at each character wondering who's gonna bite the bullet at the end of the season.
Yeah, because some of them not gonna make it. We know this because this is Game of Thrones.
I already have my money on one.
Oh, who you got your money on? Talk about it.
Homegirl. She has a weird name, but it feels like it's a play on like a regular name. She's uh she's Rhaenyra's friend.
Um, um, um,
Anita, Anisita,
she's
Alicita.
yeah, Otto's
She has
daughter.
like a
Hold on,
she
I gotta look this up because I know who you're talking about. It's hold on, hold on.
Alicent.
Yeah,
Cause
that's
I
the
was like,
name.
she has like a random
Yeah,
regular name,
yeah.
but
He took
in
Alice and just put a T on the end of it. What the fuck, George? What the fuck, George Railroad Martin? What made you think that like that was a good idea?
hmm,
But
but
yeah, okay. So yeah, a lot happening. What
so yeah,
else?
it was a lot of history to take, like trying to, because like I mean I know they're gonna know that we are going to be watching this and trying to tie everything
Mm-hmm.
together. So it's a lot of like I feel like I'm taking in a lot of history.
Yeah. And there's a lot of lore dubs. I have the benefits of like it was some years ago, but I read Fire and Blood, which is like where some of this comes from. It's basically just about the lineage of House Targaryen, and part of it does talk about this here. And then there's also a Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which takes place during a time like after this episode, but what they're supposed to be talking about in this show, which is the Dance of the Dragons. So I know some of this stuff. I don't know it very well, but I do know some of this. Basically, it's like, there's going to be House Targaryen is going to be at each other like this. So I know that. Yeah. So like I have the benefit of knowing some of the things, which I'm not going to tell you all that I know because I want you to see it and just react to it as it happens. But it's just you kind of saw how the way this ended. Like there's going to be some conflict here because you got Rhaenyra being named, the heir, and Daemon being like, I should be the heir. So there's some conflict there, and yeah, the way this ended kind of makes it clear that things are not going to be hunky dory. So you kind of know that already, which is why I went ahead and said that.
He's not about to be doting uncle.
Right. Even though earlier on in the show we saw they cool, like like they get along, like they just like that's my little homie. The way he sees her, it kind of reminds me how I am with some of my nieces too. Just like, yeah, this one, you cool.
How you talk to Luna?
Kinda, yeah. It's pretty similar to that. Like even at the funeral time, I kind of imagine myself being there with like, hey, nope, not right now. They need you. Step up.
Get it together.
Cry afterwards. But right now, do this. I'm not saying don't cry, but right now, this is what they need from you. But yeah, I mean, I kind of enjoy it. I know like pilots are difficult to pull off, period. And this one did about as well as I think it could have, because it not only served as a pilot, but it also did things to kind of tie it into things we already knew. And it did things like talk about things like King Viserys talking about the prince who was promised, and it's just like and this he will be the song of ice and fire. He talked about how the long night was coming, how the way back, like Aegon the Conqueror conquered Westeros with the dragons because he dreamed of the long night, knowing that the long night was coming. Right. Like it wasn't just conquest for the sake of conquest; it was because he knew what was coming, and it took a very long time for it to actually happen. And which is why they're kind of passing it on from Targaryen to Targaryen, king/queen, whatever, all the way through, even though we know we never really get a real queen until Dany. But passing it down from ruler to ruler, like, we need to be ready for this. And strangely, well, I guess not strangely, because the circumstances of her birth and all that, nobody told Dany. So that's why it was so strange when Jon brought it to her. She was just like, really? Because she wasn't taught that because there was nobody to tell her. Right. And it's possible that somebody told Viserys, her older brother, but he was a piece of shit. So who was going to listen to him anyway, And to him, it was all about him being king and everybody doting over him and all that kind of stuff. So
and just ruling.
Yeah. So that was all cool shit, like tying that all together. That was fun. And also just like for me, like hearing names of different houses that we know and love. Like, we saw the symbol of the Baratheons, and there was a Baratheon there at the tournament. How Stark showed up to pay tribute once they named Rhaenyra, I'm sorry, the heir.
Yeah, it's taking me a few tries to get her name too.
Yeah, it's Rhaenyra. I keep wanting to put an S on the end of it, and it's just Rhaenyra.
I will not be growing attached to her name as for possible children until the show ends and I see what she does.
Wait, say that again?
Because remember I used to love the name Daenerys. and it was like I would love to name my child Daenerys and da da da, but then she turned into what she turned into at
Yeah.
the end. I
Which
was
is
like,
why I told you to use Khaleesi instead, but you
I
wouldn't
know.
do it. So because
I
it's just
mean, I
like
like that one too.
then it's not that particular person. It's like just the name Queen in Dothraki. Like you're not naming her after a particular person.
Right.
I
So
still, think it would have been, a better choice to name your child Khaleesi Robin. But it
keeping it
wasn't my child, so it wasn't my choice.
keep it all in the WB.
Yeah, I guess that is all WB. You're right.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, anything that happened that just really was a standout to you though?
That fucking C-section.
Bruh. Them going to Viserys and be like, yo, look, you got to make an impossible choice here. Either
That's the part that fucked me up the most. I was just like, you not even giving her the choice.
you either we cut your, yeah, they have no ages either. She even said it, like, we're here to bear children. Like, so it's like we either cut your wife open and get that kid out and possibly save it, but she's gonna die.
Like,
Or we
there's no
don't
way out
do
of
it,
it.
or we don't do it and hope the gods spare her. Because there's really nothing else we can do at this point. Because if things keep going the way she is going, they're both gonna die. And the way it went down with them just being like, all right, so everybody hold her down and we're just gonna slice her open.
She's just like, she high off of like
Milk of the poppy.
seed of
Yeah.
milk of the poppy. Like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the Mr. Krabs meme.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything
And they
else?
did
I'm sorry, go ahead.
and the way they did it too, I was just like, oh God, is this how they started doing them back in the day? Like they
It's a
did
very
it
good question.
they did it vertically down the middle of her abdomen. I was like, I was under the impression it goes horizontally under.
Here's the thing. I've seen C-section scars both ways.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Shout
Yep.
out to my mom. For
Why?
both of my brothers, she had C-sections.
I was a C-section baby.
Mm.
Yep.
I was a natural birth, but I just held on.
Held on to what?
The womb.
Yeah, they had to go in there and get me. Like, it was one of those things. I was just in there chilling. Like, and it like 100% tracks with what Travis is. It's just like, I'm like, you're almost 2 weeks past your due date, and he's just sitting in there chilling. So we just gonna go take him out because he's not like I'm pretty sure they tried to induce labor, and I still just said nah.
I think
So
I was on time, but the way the day went, like my mom checked in early, but I was born really late at night.
mhm.
And so like it's always like I was always described as like it's like the glass, it's like the ice at the bottom of your glass, where it's just like you're holding like this and like some comedian did a joke about it and they were like the ice is like hold, go. I was in labor for hours.
See, with me, when the ice at the bottom of my glass, I just take the glass and just on the table, and it floats back up to the top.
Unfortunately, you can't do that to pregnant women. So,
But apparently, you can just cut them open while they're awake and just take the kid out.
that was so tragic to watch.
Yeah,
Especially after she had said, she just didn't want to. She didn't want to do this pregnancy process no more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, poor
Speaking
Emma.
of unfortunate things that happened in this episode, let's talk about Hand of the King Otto Hightower just pimping his daughter out to the king after his wife died.
Mm-hmm.
When he was like, go to him and offer him some comfort. And I'm like, nigga, what? Are you really pulling for this already? She just died. Like, she's not even like
cold.
they well, no, she's definitely not cold because they set her on fire. But like,
The fire from her body hasn't even gone out yet.
yeah, it's just like, yo, they just did that. Like, I feel like that was just this morning. What the fuck? Oh shit. You still there? There we
Good.
go. Yep,
Right.
there we go. Got you back.
I had said the fire on her body hadn't even gone out yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Um also, let's talk about Damon here. King's brother. Cause this dude's a dick and he's fucking nuts. Like,
Yeah, like something's wrong with that one.
well, it's one of those things where like they say it in game. I think they say it on the show, but I know they say it in the books. Like whenever a Targaryen is born, the gods flip a coin, and it's just like half the time they're okay, half the time they're mad, and it's just like Damon's the mad one, and his brother's the one that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And like this dude, like he forms, puts the gold close together. You know, basically we know them as like the ones who are in charge, the city watch over, you know, King's Landing or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
just goes out and finds everyone who's just a suspected criminal and just fucks them up. Like no trial, no due diligence, nothing, none of that. Like just they just like he's a raper, cut his dick off. That dude's a thief, cut his hand off.
They
This dude
also
did this.
raped him with a knife.
Yeah, yeah. Like they just, goddamn.
That
And
shit was
then
crazy. They had two pull carts of dismembered bodies, he said.
body parts, yes. And then like him at the tournament just being super fucking petty because he don't like Otto Hightower. And he's like, yo, I'm gonna go up against your son right now. Plays dirty, gets him all fucked up. He's all just dismembered, like not dismembered, but disfigured because he like tripped his horse with the lance. He goes down and face into the ground. Yeah, he's all fucked up. Then turns and goes to his daughter and asks for her favor, knowing she can't say no. He's the king's fucking brother. She has to do it, and looks right at Otto when he does it.
Mm.
I'm just like, yo, the level of petty here.
He's just like, you go low, I will go underground.
Basically. Also, very disappointed in no opening theme music. I'm like,
Was there one in the beginning?
no.
Of
In the beginning of wait, in the beginning of what?
Game of Thrones.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see
I don't.
next episode. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking maybe they'll start next episode, but if they don't give us one at all, I'm gonna be a little upset.
Yeah. I just kind of figured they skipped it because they gave that little intro in the beginning where they tell us it's like 172 years before
Hmm.
Daenerys. Um, so that they could give that little intro, and I just assumed that like the following week would probably have like just hit the ground running and like get the intros in, and then we'll
We'll
get
see.
like some intro credits. I'm about to go back and watch the first one just to see if they ever
I kind of want to do that
if
too.
they
Just see.
did, because
Yeah,
I
now
was
that you
like,
mentioned that, like,
I don't remember, but I feel like it would make sense if they didn't then either, because that whole map would have made no fucking sense to me.
you're right. You're right. I'd have to take a look and see because yeah, it makes sense if they didn't do it then either.
Sometimes I
Um,
make a point, not a lot, not often, but sometimes I make a point.
you do it more often than you think. Anything else that stood out to you though?
Um, no, because like there were a few Easter eggs that kind of reached out to me that that tied into the show, like when they mentioned a Princess Nymeria, like
Mm-hmm.
Arya's
That's what.
dire wolf.
Yeah, that's who Arya named her wolf after was her.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I enjoyed seeing certain things, just like things that we're kind of familiar with, but like done differently. Like the small council when they're talking about stuff, you kind of tell like somebody brings up something with coin, like that guy's clearly the master of coin, or like you see that guy, like yeah, he's clearly the master of ships. And they talk about how like something's happening with some pirates or something, and just like the people who are concerned about that are the ones bringing that up, and it's like that's cool. Or like Rhaenyra, she's around, but she's the cupbearer kind of thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of see with her, like even when they're studying with the lessons with Alicent, with the two of them, and she acts like she really doesn't know the shit, but it turns out she actually really does. She's just, it's clear that she's not interested in ruling, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
she wants to fight, but
yeah, she wants to just be able to do shit. Like it's really just that's really what it is. She doesn't want to rule, which is one of those
she's a
things.
Targaryen Arya.
Yeah. So there's that. And then like when Viserys names her his heir, like he apologizes when he does it because he's just like, yo, like this is gonna be hard for you. Cause like one, a woman has never been named heir and like become queen. But also, like I know what it means to sit in this iron throne. And it is not pleasant for anyone, which we see because he cuts himself on it during the show. He's
Mm-hmm.
also got an infected cut that happens on his
Look,
back, got
that
pus
man
coming out of it and shit.
he has tetanus. He has tetanus.
Yeah, yeah.
Because even if you like the after I finished the episode, I went and watched this video where it was like top 10 things you might have missed in the episode. Some of them weren't things that I actually missed, like it named Nymeria, and I was like, who was missing that? Who wasn't going to hear that? um, but when they were talking about the throne, how it, there's a lot more swords now, where
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot more accurate of the 1,000 swords. And then I started thinking about like, how did they take half those swords out of there over time?
I don't know.
But
But it's one of those things like they talked about it. I don't think they talked about it in the show, but in the books, talking about how it's uncomfortable on purpose. Like Aegon made that throne to where it was always uncomfortable so that no king ever sat on it and felt comfortable. Like you're not supposed to enjoy it. This is a duty, not a posh kind of job kind of thing, you know?
mm-hmm. That's why they took all the other swords out so that they can make it more comfy.
Maybe, maybe.
But what was I saying? Oh yeah, when they first showed his back, and I was just like, what the hell? But when they said that he cut himself on the throne, I was like, tetanus. This is the first case of tetanus.
Well, probably
That
not
is
the
what.
first one, but yeah,
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. I was just like,
yeah,
this is gonna turn into cases of tetanus.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, you have this iron throne,
Yeah, I
just
was just looking
cutting
at
up.
seeing the pus. I'm like, yep, infection. Like cauterize it. Like, well, you can burn the infection away. Yeah, kind of.
But the
But
way it's pussing, like that shit is going viral.
yeah. But also
But
the fact that he ends up naming Rhaenyra his heir just because Damon is a dick. Like he was out in the brothel the night after
he
the funeral and like
said
talking.
air for a day. That is
Yeah,
so distasteful.
yeah, yeah. But you kind of see like in his he was doing that to kind of keep appearances because at first you look at him, he seems like he's kind of upset, like he's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes out and does that because he's a fucking dick.
And
Like
he's
it's
like,
just
I gotta keep being a dick.
yeah, just
Mm.
like fuck. Yeah. Anything else? You got any ideas, any predictions for the future though? We know we get a
Well,
bit of a
I
time
mean,
jump.
oh, we do?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I
Yeah,
was
you
wondering.
keep watching after the credits, okay?
Okay,
Keep watching after the credits.
okay. I'm gonna do that.
Has
I'm
Marvel
curious.
taught you nothing?
No.
Shame.
Uh, well, I mean, I don't usually trust DC for that stuff. I mean, not DC, WB. Um,
Candace is a bell. Shame.
Stop it.
Shame.
You should get one for when Johnny returns every
For
time.
not being here.
No, you should, yeah, do that first. And then every time he goes off on a side, you shame. Oh, I was saying that I'm curious to see um how I'm going to assume that Papa Viserys, is going to do something with Alicent because the whole like I bought like a book shit. I was just like, not you using her womb. And it's just like now Rhaenyra's friend is gonna become like her half sibling's mom.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see. I know some things, so I'm not going to tell you everything that I know, which is why I'm kind of like keeping away from predictions for myself because, like I said, I've read Fire and Blood, so I know some of this already. Um, just the Dance of the Dragons is very interesting, and I'm glad they're doing it. I'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't know details, but once we really get into it, I can start making predictions because then I don't really know.
Okay.
But it's just like this first episode, just setting everything up. It's just like I want you to go ahead and experience that without me, giving stuff away.
Got
But
you. Yeah. I think because like I didn't really know what to expect with this. Like it's a lot, and it's a lot of, for me, it was a lot of details and lore thrown at me
there
in
were a
a
lot of lore dumps. Yeah.
in a cloudy state of mind, that I think the first episode for me, despite like the shock factors, what happened, I think I had a hard time. It had a hard time like gripping me the same way that episode 1 of Game of Thrones was. And that's not to say
Interesting.
it was bad. It's just a lot of detail. I
Well,
think
that's the
after,
thing. I think episode 1 of Game of Thrones had it too. I think we've just forgotten because it's been that long since we
yeah,
saw
I
it.
that's what I was
Because the
saying.
thing is, like, I watched the whole first season in one stint, and it took like almost the entire season for me to really know who everybody was. And even then,
Yeah,
I still was getting stuff wrong.
I think it's more or less like how much time it's been since I've actually sat through something from this world,
Mm-hmm.
that it's like, ooh, I gotta get back into this real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but I feel like they won't disappoint. Like,
Oh yeah, because after it was
so
over, I was just like, yeah, yeah. Game of Thrones is back. Like it felt like it was back to me.
yeah,
So
like I think it's just because like it's been a while, and it's like we haven't been around each other for a while. So it's just like I'm getting myself back out there, getting back in the groove.
definitely.
But I look forward to the weeks coming.
So do I. So do I. But
Is it going to
yeah,
be 10 episodes?
I believe so.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that'll be it for this week's episode. We'll catch y'all on Sunday live that night, and we'll be talking then. But you can catch us later on your podcast services and stuff. We'll be there as well. Yeah, I think that'll be it. Anything else from you, Mar? You got anything else?
No. Yeah,
All right.
that'll be it. I
Hmm?
can't wait to see y'all on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. Twitter and Instagram. Okay, I'll do it. At it's
Oh, I
Chris.
thought you froze. That's why. And I was like looking to see if your background was moving. And I was just like,
Yeah, the background's still going. No little
yeah.
flames going back there and stuff.
It's Creation World.
See
Or are you
Instagram
talking
and
about
Twitter.
mine?
Hmm?
Are you talking about mine, or are you talking about ours?
I was talking about ours, because
Okay,
it's
yeah.
different now
It's
than it was the last
it's
time we did this show. Yeah.
it's Creation World. ITSCREATIA
World.
world, because we still won't spell it.
No, no, because if you don't know how to spell world, get your life together.
Go back to the 5th grade.
Man, it took you to the 5th grade to learn how to spell world.
I don't know. I'm just throwing out
Okay, I
just
hear
throwing
you.
out grades.
Also, facebook.com/creationworld, youtube.com/creationworld, twitch.tv/creationworld, all that kind of stuff. You can find me on both Twitter and Instagram at Lord_Cussalott. That is at LORD_CUSSALOTT. Mara, where can they find you?
Still on Instagram and Twitter at Mara the Shark. That's MARADASHARK.
All right, that'll be it. We'll catch y'all next time. Until then, we out.
Bye.